Today it's Friday, and it's actually Black Friday, and it's a great time to start a new project. So I'm going to pick up an old timer. And that old timer is a DAX Rush. It's a kit car built in the late 60s and early 70s. And I have a friend of mine who has it stored in his garage for about 10 to 12 years, and he never used it. So there's a bit of work on it. I don't know exactly what state it is in, but I'm going to pick it up. It's going to take me about an hour and a half to get there, and once we are back, we'll have an initial assessment on that car, how it looks like. So I'm going to get going. And here it is, guys, the DAX Rush with some great tailpipes. Can't wait to get going on this one. This looks like a real fun project, doesn't it? I really like the seats. They are very sporty, but also very narrow, and the seat belts are the great 4-point buckles. And it has a great aluminum bonnet, which you can actually remove with these latches. And I guess my British viewers will really enjoy the flag here. But most of all, the instruments are really in a good shape. There's nothing wrong with it. They all look real good. I don't know if they work, but we'll figure that out as soon as we do our first test with it. But this is really cool stuff. A lot of switches, I have no idea what they're used for. Well, we can find out. The chrome is a bit pitted, but I guess with a little bit of rubbing, we probably will get it still looking good. Yeah, that will work. Great looking taillights. I guess this is just a taillight, a stoplight, and a blinker. And I do like the roll bar. That's very sturdy. It almost feels like somebody handcrafted it. That's quite neat. Pretty well intact. They just need some cleaning up. Small little tire in the front, but a big one in the back. In the back we've got Pirelli P700 tires, 255, 45, ZR15. So now the question is, what is wrong with this car? And I know one thing already, that the clutch is stuck to the flywheel. I cannot get it disengaged, so I will have to take the motor out. The other thing I noticed is that the brake pedal is seized up, so it feels like a rock. I can't depress it at all. So most likely corrosion inside the cylinders, and I will have to clean all that out and repair that as well. Now, what else is wrong? I don't know. Is there anything wrong with the engine? I don't know. I haven't checked it, but that's something I will do the next couple of days. Drain the oil, drain the fuel, get it all sorted. But now, let's have a look at the engine. What's under the hood? The exhaust is already promising, but I don't know what's inside the hood. So let's have a look. Man, I'm almost 60 years old, and I have to crawl out of this car. And this is a very small car, but I enjoy this. So let's have a look what's under the bonnet. It looks like a 4-cylinder Ford motor. Not sure from what type, but I suspect it's certainly a 2-liter, and so I'll have to figure that out what it is. Very interesting exhaust manifold, straight pipes onto the block with some heat protection on it. The block looks dry, so that's a good thing. So let us have a quick look on the oil and how that looks like. We're gonna have a quick check if there's still oil in it. And it looks like there's still plenty of oil in it, and there's no water in it. That's a good sign. This whole block here is where the pedals sit on, but mainly the brakes. So you can see double brake circuit. That's great. 2 brake cylinders. And I think that's where this whole thing is stuck on, because this is the pedal that's supposed to move it in and out. But I think they are really stuck. So that's something to check. In fact, the gaiters came off as well, so all that has to be corrected. Well, look at that. 2 original double Weber carburetors. Isn't that nice? With serial numbers and everything. Oh, I love that. There's a bit of work on that. I guess I will have to clean them all up and rejet them. But hey, this is great stuff. I really like this kind of old-fashioned technology. And there you have it, Weber. And the serial number. Now this is 17201 and the other one is 21256, so yeah, they differ a little bit. So we put up a booster and see if we can actually crank around the engine. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? I am not going to start it up. I need to change the oil first and a couple of other things I need to check, but I still want to see if I can crank it around. Maybe the engine is seized, so let's have a look. Let's try. Now, the battery looks a bit weird, doesn't it? I mean, who makes a connection with aluminum on a battery? That's really weird. I mean, that's messing around. But let's see what it does. Same thing on this side. And I don't know. I mean, this is strange stuff. Okay, so I have no idea if this battery is still alright or not. I hope it's 12 volts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so it is 12 volts. Alright, so let's see. I have a charger up, but not powerful enough to drive the engine, but let's see if I can rotate it. Yeah, that looks like it's going. So I really would need to have a good battery, and then, yeah, that looks okay. So I'm going to leave it for now as it is, and then we'll see later on how we're going to fix all this. But first of all, I want to say something else to all my dear viewers who have commented on Old Rusty what I should do with the engine. For those that said keep the old fuel engine, I have good news. I'm going to keep it. After long considerations, I think that's what I'm going to do. It was about a 50-50 call. Some people for electricity, some people for a brand new engine, gasoline engine, and then other people said, no, keep the old one. But I'm going to keep the old one, guys. So, and there's a good reason for that. In 2030, where I live, all cars are supposed to be electric. So my old gasoline engine on my Old Rusty then will be something special. And it will be no longer a problem to get fuel, I guess. And it won't be a problem to drive it because there will be no more cars on fuel where I live, or very few. So that's why I think legislation is going to get a bit easier on old-timers. And we will be able to continue to drive it, and we keep it. I mean, it's a bit like an old steam engine. Wouldn't it be nice to find today an old steam engine instead of a train with an electrical motor? It's a bit the same with Old Rusty. So I'm going to keep it, guys. And thank you so much for responding. In fact, everybody who responded, I would like to thank you. And don't worry, I will continue on Old Rusty as well. But as you might know, I do always multiple projects at the same time. Have a good evening, and bye-bye.